Greetings. My name is Sarah, and at 42 years old, I find myself enveloped in the soft warmth of our cozy living room, yet grappling with a profound sense of grief and longing. As I pen this narrative, newfound courage bubbles within me, prompting me to give form to my experiences. This act serves not only as a therapeutic endeavor for myself, but also as a beacon of hope for others who might find echoes of their own chaotic lives within these words. My beloved husband Andrew and I shared 18 years of love before fate cruelly snatched him away just a few months ago. The agony of his absence is piercing, especially as it lingers so freshly in my heart. It feels as though time itself paused in that horrific moment when I was informed of his fatal car accident. The dreams we had nurtured, brimming with laughter and enduring companionship, were shattered in an instant. Never did I imagine that at 42, I would be navigating the world as a widow. The bond Andrew and I shared was deep and meaningful, sculpted through our mutual encounters with adversity. We were like two fragmented souls who discovered healing and solace in one another's embrace. My own journey was scarred early on as I was abandoned by my parents' loss to addiction, leaving me with lasting emotional wounds. Andrew, on the other hand, experienced a turbulent relationship with his mother, Evelyn, marked by deep-seated disappointment and betrayal. Despite her repeated attempts to re-enter his life with promises of change, she consistently reverted to her destructive habits, exploiting Andrew to support her addiction before vanishing repeatedly. In each other, Andrew and I found not just love, but a sanctuary, a place of trust that helped us both rise above the scars of our past. We were each other's steadfast support, our relationship a testament to resilience in a world that often showed us scant mercy. Our love was flourishing, and for a time it seemed we might finally be free from the shadows that had long trailed us. It had been 3 peaceful years since Evelyn last disrupted our lives, and Andrew was beginning to accept the painful truth that she might never change. This narrative is my way of processing our shared past and my current reality, hoping to inspire resilience and understanding in others who might be struggling with their own life's tumult. As a couple, Andrew and I had nurtured a kind of love that seemed almost powerful enough to heal the deep wounds we both carried. Yet almost is the operative word, as his untimely departure from this world left me engulfed in a tidal wave of sorrow, besieged by an endless stream of unanswered questions. How could life be so cruel, stealing away the one person who had truly understood and accepted all parts of me? In the aftermath of his sudden loss, I found myself grappling with an overwhelming desire to withdraw from the world and hide away in the solitude of my bedroom. However, time, much like the inevitability of death, shows no mercy and waits for no one. Thus, we began the sorrowful process of organizing Andrew's funeral. As the days slowly passed, I discovered solace in the compassionate support of friends and family. Together, we navigated the heart-wrenching farewell to Andrew, ensuring his exit from this world was handled with the dignity he deserved. We organized a touching funeral service at our home, where we gathered to honor his memory and share stories that evoked both tears and laughter. Amid the poignant atmosphere, with the fragrance of freshly cut flowers filling the air, an unexpected doorbell chime broke through the soft hum of conversations. Curiosity and a mix of emotions stirred within me as I approached the door, my heart fluttering with anticipation and uncertainty. There, amidst a sea of mourners in black, stood Evelyn, Andrew's estranged mother. Clutching a bottle of whiskey as a peace offering, she seemed as out of place as she was desperate for reconciliation. A tumult of feelings surged through me, anger, resentment, and confusion clashing with grief, and an aching need for closure. Yet, as I looked into Evelyn's tear-stained eyes, a flicker of understanding sparked within me. Despite the pain she had inflicted, it was evident she was also struggling with her regrets and the heavy burden of time lost. Without a word, I opened my arms and Evelyn stepped forward. We embraced tightly, tears mingling as each drop seemed to carry the weight of unspoken sorrows. In that moment of connection, years of bitterness and fractured relationships began to dissolve in the warmth of our shared grief. Evelyn's hushed confessions of regret washed over me, and though the wounds were far from healed, I discovered a newfound glimmer of compassion in my heart. Her presence turned into a delicate dance of emotions among those gathered. My friends and family, fully aware of the tumultuous history between Andrew and his mother, greeted her with cautious smiles and offered her a place at our table. It was a profound testament to their steadfast support for me, showing that they could set aside their reservations to welcome Evelyn into our circle. Throughout the gathering, she shared stories of her struggles with addiction, painting a poignant picture of a woman lost yet desperate for redemption and forgiveness. This gathering, fraught with complex emotions, turned into an unexpected step towards healing, not just for me, but perhaps for Evelyn as well. Evelyn's voice trembled with emotion as she expressed her profound regret for the pain she had inflicted upon Andrew, reflecting on moments of remorse and a yearning to rewrite their shared past. As I listened to her, I could feel my heart gradually soften, recognizing that beneath the layers of hurt and disappointment, there still flickered a mother's love. Tarnished, certainly, but not extinguished. It was like observing a complex tapestry of emotions, intricately woven with threads of forgiveness, understanding, and a deep longing for healing. As Evelyn continued, she recounted fragments of memories with Andrew, sharing tender snapshots from his childhood, their shared laughter, and fleeting glimpses of the man he had eventually become. Each word she spoke was tinged with nostalgia and regret, painting an intimate portrait of the son she felt she had lost along the way. As the funeral service wound down and the guests began to leave, Evelyn, with a look of quiet determination, stayed behind. My sisters and I began to tidy up, quietly grateful for Evelyn's unexpected help in clearing the remnants of the day. In a quiet, vulnerable moment, Evelyn turned to me, her voice quivering with a mix of trepidation and hope, and asked if she could make a personal request. I met her gaze, my own filled with a blend of curiosity and caution, yet open to hearing her out. "Evelyn, what is it you'd like to ask?" I encouraged her gently, noting the gratitude and vulnerability in her eyes. Taking a deep breath, she said, "Sarah, I know I have no right to ask this of you, but could I have a chance to say goodbye to my son? To be close to him, perhaps through his belongings?" I paused, considering the weight of her request. Sensing my hesitation, she hurriedly added, "I know it's an unusual ask, and you have every right to say no, but if I could just touch his clothes or smell his cologne, maybe, just maybe, I could feel connected to him again, even though he's gone." Despite the lingering pain and resentment, Evelyn's genuine remorse was evident, and I couldn't dismiss it. "Evelyn, I see how much you loved Andrew, and the regret in your eyes is clear. If this could bring you some comfort, then yes, you may go up to his room and spend time with his things. Take all the time you need," I responded softly. A wave of gratitude washed over Evelyn's features as she whispered, "Thank you, Sarah. Your kindness means more to me than you can imagine." As Evelyn made her way up the stairs, I reflected on the day's events. A day of mourning, of unexpected reconciliations, and perhaps a small step toward healing, not just for Evelyn, but for all of us touched by Andrew's life and legacy. As Evelyn made her way upstairs, a flurry of emotions swirled within me. Part of me hoped this gesture would offer her some closure, a chance to mend the shattered bond with her son. Yet, another part of me remained cautious, aware of the vulnerabilities this act could potentially expose. In the ensuing silence, my thoughts wandered, contemplating the delicate and intricate nature of human relationships. They are fragile, easily torn apart, yet remarkably resilient when mended through healing and forgiveness. At that moment, I chose to lean towards forgiveness and grace for Evelyn, though I would soon come to question this decision. About 25 minutes later, Evelyn reappeared from the bedroom. Her eyes were swollen and red, clear signs of the emotional deluge she had experienced alone. It seemed she had poured out an ocean's worth of grief and remorse in that solitary room. The stoic and guarded expression she typically wore had given way to one of raw vulnerability. Taking a deep breath to steady herself, Evelyn spoke with a trembling voice. "Thank you for allowing me this time with Andrew. I am truly grateful for your kindness and understanding." Her words resonated with genuine sincerity, stirring a twinge of sympathy within me. As Evelyn said her final goodbyes, a palpable sense of closure seemed to fill the room. The weight of the day's emotions lingered, a silent testament to the complex web of feelings we had all navigated. With heavy hearts, we watched as Evelyn departed from the house, leaving us to reflect on the day's events. As hours passed and the evening sun began to cast a warm golden glow through the windows, my sisters and I found solace in each other's company. We shared more memories and gentle laughter, reminiscing about Andrew and drawing strength from the bond of love that united us as a family. As the light outside deepened, exhaustion took hold, and one by one, my sisters left for their homes, seeking solace in restful slumber after the long, draining day. For the first time that day, I found myself alone in the quiet sanctuary of my room. Surrounded by the silence, my mind drifted back to Evelyn's earlier request for a private moment with Andrew's belongings. Now, with the room enveloped in stillness, I reflected on the emotional journey of the day, pondering the complexities of forgiveness and the paths we choose in the search for peace. Overwhelmed by a deep curiosity and a yearning to feel close to Andrew even in his absence, I found myself drawn to the tangible remnants of his life. With a gentle reverence, I began to sift through his belongings, each item a poignant testament to the man he was. I picked up his favorite watch, its rhythmic ticking serving as a soft reminder of the precious moments we had shared together. My fingers traced the contours of his well-worn books, imagining the stories that had once whispered to him in the quiet of the evening. Turning to the dresser, I inspected the items salvaged from the car wreck, his phone, his work bag, his second watch, and his wallet. But a sinking feeling overtook me as I realized the wallet was missing. Panic surged through me, and desperation took hold as I frantically searched the room. I tore through every drawer and scrutinized every corner, but the wallet seemed to have vanished into thin air. The sudden realization that the wallet, retrieved from the wreckage, was now missing struck me with overwhelming force. In my distress, I knew I needed assistance to navigate this unsettling mystery. Perhaps I was mistaken, and the wallet had never been returned to my possession. With trembling hands, I called Gary, a dear friend who had been present at the funeral and had played a crucial role in retrieving Andrew's belongings. As a trusted member of the police department, Gary possessed the skills and dedication needed to help uncover the truth. As the phone rang, my heart pounded and tears streamed down my face. Gary's voice, calm and reassuring, answered on the other end. I poured out my anguish, explaining the circumstances and the urgency of the situation. With a heavy sigh, Gary confirmed that he had indeed brought back Andrew's wallet along with the other items. Relief mixed with confusion washed over me. If Gary had returned the wallet, then where could it have gone? Then, a chilling realization struck me like a bolt of lightning, illuminating the dark corners of my mind. It could only have been Evelyn, my estranged and manipulative mother-in-law, who had seized the opportunity to snatch the wallet from the dresser. While immersed in my grief and unaware of any ulterior motives, I took a deep breath and shared my suspicions with Gary, my voice shaking with a blend of anger, sadness, and disbelief. Understanding the gravity of the situation, Gary reassured me with determination. Andrew was one of my best friends, and I promise you, if Evelyn had anything to do with this, we'll uncover the truth and ensure she faces the consequences. His words wrapped around me like a warm embrace, sparking a flicker of hope within me. Despite the shadows that loomed and the uncertainty that clouded my path, I felt a renewed sense of resolve knowing Gary was by my side. Together, we were determined to delve into the murky depths of this twisted tale, uncover Evelyn's motives, and bring closure to this painful chapter of our lives. As the days passed, the weight of grief still pressing heavily upon me, I was jolted by yet another disturbing revelation. A steady stream of bank statements sent to both my and Andrew's phones revealed a troubling pattern of transactions. It began with smaller amounts, a charge of $600 followed by one of $1,000. However, these quickly escalated into a torrential downpour of deductions, with sums exceeding $5,000 draining from Andrew's hard-earned savings. Fear and concern gripped my heart as I witnessed the relentless siphoning of his funds. It felt like a violation, a desecration of his memory that cut me to the core. With a heavy heart, I reached out to Gary once again, seeking his guidance and solace in the face of this new ordeal. Gary's voice, filled with empathy and resolve, advised me to take swift action. You need to get Andrew's cards deactivated immediately to stop these unauthorized transactions, he said. His advice was practical and urgent, but following it meant facing harsh realities, canceling credit and debit cards, terminating TV, movie, and music subscriptions, and severing financial ties. Each action served as a stark reminder that Andrew was truly gone. Yet, as the anger grew within me, fueled by Evelyn's audacious actions, a rebellious thought took root. How dare she squander my late husband's money with such reckless abandon? No, I resolved not to succumb to her wicked game so easily. I was determined to confront this challenge head-on, to protect Andrew's legacy, and to stand firm against the exploitation of his memory. As I grappled with the ongoing disruption Evelyn brought into our lives, a cunning plan began to take shape in the recesses of my mind. I decided to let Evelyn continue using the cards, giving her the illusion of security while I secretly held the upper hand, ready to expose her deceit and reclaim what was rightfully Andrew's. This decision wasn't made lightly, for it meant facing the painful reality of his absence a bit longer, but my resolve was firm. I was determined to unveil Evelyn's true character and shed light on her dark deeds. I planned to meticulously document every transaction Evelyn made, effectively tracking her every move until the perfect moment for confrontation. It was a delicate game of cat and mouse, allowing her to revel in her perceived control, while I prepared the stage for her inevitable downfall. As days morphed into weeks, I found myself caught in a whirlwind of emotions, oscillating between despair and determination. Drawing strength from the loving memories of Andrew, I steeled myself with the resolve to honor his memory by exposing Evelyn's actions and protecting his legacy from her greed and deceit. I knew that when I confronted her, it had to be memorable, a revelation she would never forget. As time passed, the weight of Evelyn's deceit grew increasingly unbearable. She continued to squander Andrew's hard-earned money with reckless abandon, her audacity seemingly limitless. Each transaction, each dollar she spent, was a stark reminder of her utter lack of remorse or empathy. My disdain for my estranged mother-in-law deepened with each day. How could she so callously betray her own son's memory? How could she treat his hard-earned legacy as nothing more than her personal slush fund, fueling her whims without a trace of guilt? Then, one fateful day as I opened the door, there stood Evelyn, a forced expression of remorse playing on her face. But I knew better than to fall for her facade. "Oh, hello, Sarah," she greeted tentatively. "Hello, Evelyn, can I come in?" she asked, hoping for an invitation. "No, you may not," I replied firmly, my voice steady and resolute. "I suspected as much. I don't blame you," she responded, her tone resigned, yet still tinged with deceit. I stood firm at the doorway, prepared to protect what remained of Andrew's world from her manipulations. I couldn't believe my ears as Evelyn stood before me, a forced expression of remorse on her face. "I imagine you've noticed that Andrew's wallet is missing. I'm so sorry, Sarah. In my grief, I took it. I thought my time to say goodbye would be short, so I took the wallet as a keepsake." "Really?" I responded, barely concealing my disbelief. "Yes," she admitted, her voice faltering slightly. "It was wrong of me, but I've come to my senses and decided to return it to you." Anger surged within me, threatening to overpower my composure. How could she stand there weaving such shameless lies with such ease? Yet I masked my fury behind a serene smile, seeing an opportunity to reveal Evelyn's true nature. I handed her a document, a meticulously compiled record of every penny she had pilfered from Andrew, accompanied by a detailed list of the legal charges she would be facing. As she read, her hands shook and her eyes widened in disbelief. "What's this?" she stammered, her voice a mix of confusion and fear. "It's a record of all the money you've stolen from Andrew. It also outlines the legal consequences you're now facing," I explained, my voice steady and resolute. Evelyn's facade crumbled before my eyes. Her lies unraveled, and the weight of her guilt and deceit became too much for her. She collapsed on the front porch, overwhelmed and unconscious. Without hesitation, I called for an ambulance, ensuring she received the medical attention she needed. Later, as Evelyn regained consciousness in the sterile confines of a hospital room, her wrists secured with cold metal handcuffs, the reality of her actions began to dawn on her. She raged and demanded release, but I stood by, a calm and resolved presence. I assured her that she would not escape the consequences of her crimes and that she would face a significant prison sentence for the havoc she had wreaked upon Andrew's memory. With the unwavering support of Gary, my trusted friend-in-law enforcement, I had gathered enough evidence to ensure Evelyn faced the full extent of the law. We had calculated the likely amount of time she would spend behind bars, a fitting punishment for her despicable actions. Reflecting on the tumultuous journey that led to this point, I felt a mix of relief and sadness. While justice was being served, the path had been fraught with pain and betrayal. Yet through it all, I found a strength I never knew I had, fortified by the love and memories of Andrew that I was determined to honor. Finding solace in the fact that justice has been served brings a profound sense of peace to my heart. I have avenged Andrew's memory, shedding light on the depths of Evelyn's betrayal. The stolen money has been reclaimed, and Evelyn is now facing the consequences of her fraudulent actions. With this chapter closed, I feel a sense of contentment and closure that allows me to look forward to a future free from the shadows of Evelyn's deceit. Andrew's spirit can now rest, knowing his legacy has been safeguarded. I, too, can begin to find the peace I have so desperately sought. The journey that began with heartbreak and betrayal concludes with justice prevailing, a poignant reminder that no act of deceit will remain unchecked, and that the power of love and determination can triumph over even the darkest adversities. This resolution reinforces my belief in the strength of integrity, and the importance of standing firm in the face of wrongdoing, ensuring that the truth always finds its way to light.